Hi, this is Wendy Cope. I'm your librarian, and I just wanted to talk to you today about what I've been doing this summer to help support you guys in your implementation towards Common Core. But first, I want to really just acknowledge what you guys may have been feeling, especially at the beginning of this, is some level of anxiety. And I'll admit I had the same kind of issues. This is a whole new set. It's things that we have been doing, but at the same time, in a new format with new requirements. I also wanted to kind of celebrate the cooperative planning that you all have been doing. You guys came out of the gate really fast by planning your core text, and you picked out support literature and ideas for research. And that's going to change things substantially for the kids. Heather Wolpert-Gowan, who is this blogger who I really admire, and she's kind of at the forefront of this movement. She talks about, with this proactive approach you guys are taking, our students won't wait around for answers, but instead will run out to the field to meet their fight headlong with pens, laptops, interactive boards, podiums, iPads, and even number 2 pencils ablazing. They're going to be ready for whatever it is that any kind of assessment, wherever that comes down, because of the planning you guys are doing now. This is what it's all about. So I was delved into locating some resources. Maybe I thought, well, maybe I can find some stuff online that's going to help support you. But it was really this labyrinth, and I found those items to be very dense. They wanted to sell us stuff, and very impractical for our approach at River Ridge High School and the creativity that we have in this department. And I thought about how really we have a lot of opportunity here because there's so much junk out there. We have really opportunity to be creative and to really show our own individuality and to really make this shine. And I think that Common Core gives you a sense of empowerment. There is a way that you guys can be creative with your teaching. There is a whole, because the assessment block is not in place, you have a chance to really work on, what is it that this really means for our students. Wolpert-Gowan says, the standards talk about possible choices of responses from debate or written essay to digital project. Student choice is acknowledged as vital in a rigorous program, and writing will now be a skill universally assigned and assessed in all disciplines. It's not just the content, but the collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and creativity involved in communicating that content. We're moving away from the ABC singular solution, and we're being able to move on from there. So how do I best support you with all this? Well, first of all, you guys have asked me for informational text, some locating and accessing that information. And along with that, you've asked me to take a look at the Lexile levels. You can see what the original Lexiles, what the grade level was with, and then the recalibrated. And those are the things that I took into consideration when I was picking texts that were appropriate for your kids, for the units that I was helping build. And then also developing technology-infused projects. Many of you all had ideas for what you guys wanted to see, but then I thought, okay, well, I'll change this or give some more other options to go along with what it is that you would like to. And of course, I'll be there to help teach them as well for you guys. Pop culture references. A lot of times our students don't understand why it is that they're studying what they are. So making sure that the kids have some angle about why this is significant in our culture. And of course, the big thing is about bridges to college and career, and that's one of the reasons for Common Core to begin with, that K through 16 vertical alignment. So that was a huge consideration for me. So we built some LibGuides for you, and you guys have used those kind of pathfinders in the past, but I think that we haven't done it as much literature-based, so I wanted to show you some of the things that this was going to be involved with for you. And the first is kind of the top tab organization. You'll see that the core concept or the text title is at the very top. And the home page is always the student page. So they'll click on whatever it is first. Then you'll see teacher resources and then some sort of technology or the project page. Maybe you'll see research there. And then standards and Lexiles, you'll see different boxes, and I'll always label them informational text. I've been really trying to make sure that I've got the standards listed so that we all can kind of see that we are being transparent with our planning. You'll see that I've established the Lexiles leveled for differentiation on there. I was able to locate and access these from Galileo for the most part and through some other sources that I've seen, but these are, I was able to obtain Lexile levels for them so that you know what you're working with as well. Supporting for your plans, many of you all gave me some very good ideas. You had come up with some ideas already, and one of them for Manzanar was the Kennedy-Nixon debate about perception. And so I, obtained audio and video recordings and then the televised in the National Archives. Also, I tried to find primary source documents and texts that were related thematically so that the kids could have some higher level thinking skills, because I know you guys do a lot with that. So I figured I'd see what was out there and collect it together for you. Also, I thought about some suggestions for enrichment and remediation, some things to be able to help the kids understand a little bit better without giving them, quote unquote, the answers. A lot of these are on the teacher page. You'll see post-reading activities and discussion questions and those kind of things. These are for you to pick and choose how best to work with your kids. Also, I tried to annotate as much as I could so that way it would save you a little time instead of slogging through. You could kind of pick and choose, saying, oh, okay, let me look at this. Oh, this looks interesting. This might go with what I'm planning for this. Like I said, I was really trying to look for saving you all more time than anything else. Also, I have links to full text online or free app resources. I wanted to make sure that the kids had 24/7 access to the materials that you're asking them to read. The books that we have, as you know, are not in that great a shape. So I wanted to make sure that we could find some free things, especially since they're going to have Bring Your Learning Device for next year. So multimedia connections for Manzanar. On the right-hand side, George Takei from Star Trek, he was actually in the internment camps at Manzanar, and so he talks about that. And on the left, you'll see the art connections. This is for Scarlet Letter, so that they can kind of see how the picture reflects the images that Hawthorne creates in his text. So some different ways of looking at the text that are, that are Common Core based. Significant to you as well as to me, teaching kids how to use Creative Commons, sources that are out there that people say, hey, yes, I'd like you to use my source. Just give me a little credit. And then also the digital literacy stuff so that students make better presentations and they're able to, acknowledge their sources a little bit better, but so that they're not sitting there reading the information that's already written on their slide. That can be boring and it doesn't create any better speakers than we currently have. So. Again, speaking of Bring Your Learning Device integration, here's an assignment that I came up with that has to do with taking better photographs on their iPhones for, we were just talking about Creative Commons. Instead of having to cite their sources, if they take their own photos to illustrate, and this is an assignment for Scarlet Letter, taking photos that illustrate the symbolism, especially the color symbolism throughout that novel. I think this could be a really neat way to integrate Bring Your Learning Device and make what they consider a toy right now, make that better into a tool. And also there's some research lesson ideas. I try to include web resources, the databases that are accessible. On some of them, I've created a full lesson plan for you, or I have located a full lesson plan, including some rubrics. And then I've also gathered some exemplar papers. Again, these things may be changed, but I just wanted to kind of give you a place to start. Teacher materials, lesson plan ideas. I tried to annotate everything that I could for you. Again, I'm just trying to make your lives a little bit easier. But what I like about LibGuides is that everything is in one place. Access is 24/7. Opportunities for extended learning are there for the kids. Plus, we can track the usage. We can't track it by child, but we can definitely track it by the amount of use that we're seeing in it. And also it's accessible, like we said, and it's flexible. It's completely customizable. Anything that you say, this really isn't worth it, or would you put this on instead, or hey, could you slide this in for me today? I would be more than happy to do that for you, because ultimately at the end of the day, it's about you and about your kids. So the support for your Common Core are LibGuides that we're using that I created for you this summer. They're all located at riverridgehs.cherokee.libguides.com. And on your sheet, you'll see that I've included everything for you about which units have been created and what support is there for you. Thank you so much.